Good morning. Welcome to our Sunday Sprintacular. I am your host, Gillian St, author of Empowering Queer Fantasy That Confounds Expectations. Usually I am joined by my amazing co-host, Jamie Sands, but Jamie is being a productive member of society today in a very literal sense. Jamie is working for the Electoral Commission for our upcoming election here in New Zealand and is having some training today. So that's really exciting, but does mean that it is just me this morning. And I'm already struggling because we just started daylight saving this morning. And I unfortunately had a later night than I anticipated last night. So, yeah. That said, it would be really good to take this opportunity to sort of sit down, focus, get some work done, and kind of, just kind of settle into this new time the best way possible. So for anyone who is joining us for the first time, basically we will we start with a little sort of check-in about where we're at in our writing journey, our writing lives, followed by a quick warm-up, and then we jump into 20-minute productive sprints where we will just sort of focus and work on things. And yeah, writing can be a lonely profession. So sometimes knowing that there are other people also working on their things can be very motivating. And also this morning, house sitting 2 Labradors, and I'm trying to debate whether or not I let them inside because they are they look very comfy. They've curled up on the dog bed. One of them looks comfy, the other one is giving me this death stare. I think he really wants to come inside, but also if I let him inside, he likes to grab stuff. Yep, he's walking over to the door. I made the mistake of making eye contact with him. But yeah, so I think it's going to be a pretty quiet, cruisy morning this morning. And yeah, let's get started with our sort of touching base where we are. So I'm actually hoping to get back into working on my writing. Oh, hey, Sage. Awesome to see you. I have hit a sticking point in my current working progress. And so I let it sort of sit for a few days, hoping that the solution would come to me and that my characters would figure themselves out. That hasn't happened, so I think I need to give them a nudge in the right direction. Oh, Sage, I can't stay, but I wanted to say hi before I head to bed. Good luck with the sprints. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Sleep well and hope all is well in your part of the world. But yes, so I think I've got a few things I need to get out of the way first, and then I'm going to try and use the sprints this morning to get back into that story and try and push past this block. But if that doesn't work, I've got a couple of other projects that I could work on instead, freelance projects rather than writing. But yep. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at the moment. And it always surprises me how fast things go when there's not me and Jamie chatting. Just grabbing my phone for the timer. And what did I do with my deck? So I am looking ahead to the warm-up. Oh my gosh, every time I stand up and move, the dogs are like, yep, she's letting us inside. I would love to let you inside, but I don't trust you. Do not trust you not to eat my stuff. I got completely distracted by the dogs. So yeah, okay. To kick off our session today and make sure that we are in the right headspace for our creative work, we like to kick off our streams with a warm-up. Both Jamie and I like to use draw a tarot card to use as like the inspiration for a 5-minute unfiltered warm-up. Today, I'm going to be drawing a card from the Wild Unknown deck. But basically, the idea is tarot has some beautiful imagery and some really interesting meanings and symbolism tied to the cards. So there's basically just a really like fruitful starting point for 5 minutes of unfiltered writing. Some people like to use this to kind of jump into their work in progress. Others use it to give themselves a little pep talk or reflect on things that are going on in their life. Sometimes it's good to just get whatever is front of brain out of your brain onto paper to kind of clear the decks for a really nice creative session, or potentially to stretch your creative muscles and get warmed up and ready for the work that we're about to do. So that said, I'm going to grab us a card and let's have a look. Oh man, I seem to be drawing really not favorite cards recently. Here is the 8 of Cups. We've got an image of a really steep, high mountain peak with some broken glasses at the bottom of it. Is it 8? Yep, it's 8. So let's take a look and see what the accompanying meaning is. Stagnation, ill health. Brilliant. The 8 of Cups sends an urgent message to pack your bags and move on. There is no hope of rekindling what's been lost. You must start anew. This card also points to phases of illness and physical stagnation. The message could not be more clear. Nothing good remains for you here. Lift your eyes to the horizon and let your feet lead you forward. So, yeah. Quite an interesting card. Cannot say I see an immediate sort of application there, but I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes. So let's jump in. And the point of this exercise is not to write something beautiful and poetic or something that we spend lots of time thinking about. It is to just write and to further get out of the sort of ordinary working zone. I like to use pen and paper to do this exercise because I do most of my typing on a keyboard. Most of my writing on a keyboard. So this is just a chance to kind of get do something a bit unusual, get out of the usual patterns, and yeah, hopefully get into a really good headspace for the work that we're about to do. So a 5-minute warm-up starting now. Okay, that was the end of our 5-minute warm-up. I wrote most of a column there, mostly kind of thinking about ways that I could be stagnating or not taking good care of my health. Come up with a few thoughts, and nothing really big, but yeah, I've got a few things that I can improve, but yeah, mostly I just need to sit down and get some work done, which is precisely why we're here. So, that's good. Um, trying to think if I'm forgetting something. We are normally really slow getting to start our first sprint of the day, which is why I am having this doubt. But I think it's just going to be one of those days where maybe we're a bit more focused, which is fine. So in our first sprint, um, I am going to finish my plan for today, and there's a few freelance things that I almost finished yesterday but didn't quite finish. So I'd like to get those completely finished before easing back into the world of my work in progress. So I think I'm going to probably need the first 2 sprints at least to finish the planning and freelance stuff. So yeah, let's jump right on in with that. Oh, yep. 20 minutes starting now. Okay, that is the end of our first sprint. Welcome, Cranky Spinster. It is awesome to have your company. I am also in a bit of a weird stage where I find it really hard to write just on my own. I've taken to having YouTube on in the background as I write, but YouTube keeps feeding me true crime stuff, which is incredibly depressing and has not been actually that helpful in getting me to write. So I'm actually in the process of what's the word? Retraining the YouTube algorithm to get better, more helpful recommendations. Welcome, Duck My Squee. You got stung by daylight savings. I am really struggling this morning. I did not think I would be, but here we are. Not helped, unfortunately, by the fact that I was up past my bedtime last night. I decided that I would replace true crime with Try Guys videos. And this has been an even worse decision because they're too entertaining. I cannot just tune them out. But I think maybe, I need to kind of, I don't like watching writing live streams unless they're live, but honestly, I get just as much out of them when I'm watching a replay. So I think I just need to revisit my favorite writing live streams, make myself a little playlist, and just get to work. Yep. Oh, primitive skills, very relaxing and lets you disengage. Excellent. That sounds like a great recommendation. Thank you, Duck My Squee. So we have already done our warm-up. It was the Eight of Cups, which is, you know what? I'm actually going to find it for you because I know you love your little creative snippets and we all enjoy them. So, did I just put the card on the top? No, I shuffled down. No, it's on the bottom. Hey. So this was the card. We had a very steep, grim-looking mountain with the shattered cups at the bottom. And as I said, it represented stagnation or ill health. So there, if you are in the mood, Duck My Squee, that was our card for today. But yeah, I finished my planning and have been making really good progress with the freelance work that I needed to wrap up. And I'm actually closer to having it finished than I thought I was. I don't know if I'm capable of finishing this in 2 sprints like I initially thought, because I have forgotten how fiddly formatting is, and I think I was being overly optimistic. But yeah, I'm going to give that a try. And I may also make myself another coffee because, yes, the struggle is real. But yeah, let's hop into our second sprint. 20 minutes starting now. Oh, and Halloween music is a great choice. Okay, that is the end of our second sprint. I'm just quickly going to do something here before I forget that I'm doing it. How did you guys get on? I managed to make some more progress with the freelance project that I'm working on, though as anticipated, I have realized that it is going to take me longer than anticipated. I also realized that if I could just sort of marathon this and get it finished really quickly. I really want to have this finished before Tuesday. Hi, Amy. It is awesome to have you here. Hopefully, the switch to daylight savings time is not playing too much havoc with you. Yeah, I am very happy with the progress that I'm making, although it still feels excruciatingly slow. It is just that kind of a project. Yeah, let's have a look. I think potentially I could have this formatted in either one more sprint, and Duck My Squee has posted their warm-up. And it looks really cool. Wow. I really enjoy what you do with these prompts, Duck My Squee. Amy is dressed and decent if you want a co-host. Amy, I would love a co-host. I don't know if it's apparent to people on stream, but I am struggling this morning. It's just the energy is not there. So I will send Amy a link, and then I might start us off into our next. Actually, I will start our next sprint now. Send Amy the link so that Amy can join at her leisure. And then we will catch up with Amy after our third sprint, which will also be about the time for a break. So, yeah, I like this plan. Amy says, good idea. Yay, validation. Let's go. 20 minutes. I actually have to set the timer now. What is this? 20 minutes starting now. Okay. That is the end of our third sprint. I am not muted. Excellent. Okay. Welcome, Amy. Hi.
Hi. Had some technical issues, but figured it out. The old.
It is
turn it off and on again.
amazing. From the moment you said that you were available to join and co-host, I had a boost of energy. So it is, it is really
like
lovely.
Me in that extrovert introvert thing where you're kind of actually quite in the middle, and like sometimes you need people for energy, and sometimes you need to be left alone.
Yes, I had a friend tell me that I was the most social hermit she'd ever met.
Yeah, I think I'm right in the middle of that one, eh?
Yep. So, Amy, hi. Introduce yourself to anyone who hasn't already met you.
Oh, surely there's not many of those. Okay. I am a high school English teacher by day, and I write romance novels, and most of them are contemporary romantic comedies in a series called the Have Heart Will Travel series. They're all set in different places in Europe. This one is on sale at the moment. That's What's French Props. And I have one standalone book, which is a sapphic retelling of Jane Austen's Persuasion. And at the moment, I am working on a medical romance.
Yes.
So we had you know this, Gillian, because you were there. In our local romance writers chapter, there's a bunch of writers who write for Mills and Boon, and we had a panel session with them a couple of months ago, and there were a whole lot of books that we could take away, and so I did, and a couple of things struck me. One, these are all writers living in New Zealand actually making a living off of their writing, which is sort of something that writers in New Zealand always tell you is completely impossible. No writers in New Zealand make a living off their writing. Bullshit. And the other thing that struck me was I actually have written an awful lot of medical romance, just not in novel form, because I wrote a lot of fan fiction, but back in the day. So I thought, maybe I could. And then I read a couple, and one of them was really, really good. That was the one by Jo.
Yay.
That one, and I think I read another one of hers previously, years ago probably, because she's always giving away books. That was really good. And then, but it was in a 2-book set, and the first one was quite boring. Like, it was just really ho-hum, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can do better than this. So anyway, I just thought I'd give it a go between projects. So yeah.
That's going okay. That sounds really awesome, actually. Oh my gosh, what is the dog doing? So,
what is the dog doing?
I've got no idea. So he is standing in the grass, and his posture is just the weirdest posture. Like, when dogs are tracking something, you know, because they kind of shift. You know, it's not like cats when they do the crouch down wiggly thing, but they do kind of lean in. This dog was like preparing to receive a rugby ball. Like, he had his shoulders spread and his back legs, and it was just like, what are you doing? You're not
preparing for impact.
What are you looking at? And there's nothing there that I can see. I think this dog is just, maybe he's having an existential crisis. And now he's lying down. Okay.
Maybe he was trying to intimidate something.
Potentially, but again, there was nothing there.
Nothing that you can see. It could be like a sparrow or a large beetle.
Yes. Dogs do freak out about insects. George got really there was like a fly, and he was like, I'm going to eat this thing, but he could not pick it up.
Oh, it was already dead. Oh, that's a bit pathetic.
Yes. But he was trying so hard, and all he was doing was pushing the fly further away from him.
Oh dear.
Yep. Okay.
You know what? I am glad it's not fly season yet. I'm not looking forward to
Yes.
fly season. It's nice
No.
this time of year when the weather starts getting warmer, but we don't yet have bugs.
Yes. Duck My Squee got 350 words this sprint.
Good work.
We've also got Lee, the cranky spinster here. How are you doing, Lee? I finished the formatting I was doing, so I started making a brain dump master to-do list and did not get very far with that. But it is 10:30. I feel kind of mean doing this because I know Amy's just had her breakfast, but I'm ready for a snack. How about we
I'm still
start?
going, to be fair.
Awesome. How about I start the next sprint,
Nice.
but I will go get a snack, and people who need snacks can get snacks with me. And
I can get into my writing.
Yes.
I haven't done any yet this morning. I didn't realize it was daylight saving until you said so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know
It's
what?
still holidays. So what is time?
Okay, for people joining us late, I'm going to grab you a second tarot card, and then
good
I'm
idea.
going to go and get snacks. You guys are going to do a 20-minute sprint.
Excellent.
Amy, actually, say when.
Oh, when?
Okay. A much better card than the one I drew us earlier. Father of Pentacles. We have a stag with a pentacle between his rainbow antlers, looking quite magnificent. Father of Pentacles is a fun one because he's an entrepreneur.
What was the other one?
Entrepreneurial.
I wonder if the two relate to each other.
A steady, gentle man. Upon first meeting, he can almost seem dull because of his extremely calm temperament, but underneath is an incredibly passionate man who prioritizes the stability of his job, family, and home. He's entrepreneurial and diligent at work, a true pleasure to know. So,
nice. What was the other card? I wonder if they talk to each other. Isn't that something that I don't know anything about tarot?
It was the Eight of Cups, which is stagnation and ill health.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
So, yeah, quite different. Well, I'm home because of ill health. My daughter is really unwell. And I think she was up a few times in the night. She's just got a bad cold. She's testing negative for COVID. She was at school camp all week, so it's also partly exhaustion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. But she has convinced us that today is Daughter's Day. Apparently she found that on the internet, and, if it's online, it must be true.
Yeah.
So I got her a present for Daughter's Day.
Lovely. I need to inform my mum about this.
I don't know if it's going to be a thing forever, if I'm honest. I feel like this was a scam just to get a present, but
Yep.
Oh well. It's been a few months since she had a birthday.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. So the Father of Pentacles again.
Stag.
Yep. So you guys enjoy your warm-up sprint, and I will enjoy my snacks.
Do.
20 minutes starting now. Okay, that is the end of sprint number 4.
How'd it go?
I successfully acquired snacks. I also came back and finished my master list and then was like, do you know what? I'm going to get myself organized so that I can start rereading what I've written of the story so far for my work in progress. But it's no longer titled Great Expectations thing.
Okay, nice. I'm sure you can come up with a good title.
Hopefully.
It's a hard
But
one.
yeah.
It's a hard one when you've got a title in mind and then you know you have to change it.
Yeah.
Because you'll always kind of call it that in your head.
Yeah. Though in my experience, once I do decide on a new title, that settles in and overrides the original title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do wonder if you could just simply go like Greater Expectations or something that's just subtly different.
Yeah, Martin is too modest to have Greater Expectations.
Okay.
But yeah, I will continue to dwell on it.
Modest Expectations. No.
Okay.
That means the opposite.
That actually, that could be it. Thank you, Amy.
Really? Modest Expectations.
Yeah.
It does definitely make you go, wow, it's not going to be modest at all. Like that is the kind of inference there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well. There we go. We achieved something today, potentially.
Yes.
I have made a little bit of progress. Not much. I'm just getting back into it. I did heaps yesterday, which was so good to feel like I made some tracks. So I just done a little scene transition within a chapter.
Nice.
And I will probably fairly shortly change to the other point of view, but yes, have to figure out some things.
So just at the end of our just at the start or just before we started that sprint, I asked Cranky Spinster what they've been up to, and the answer is being cranky. So good consistency. That's important. Now that I've actually got the story up and I'm ready to read it, I'm keen to jump in.
Yeah,
I assume that Duck My Squee is dropping children at houses. So yeah. Shall we keep on going?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, 20 minutes starting now. I was muted, sorry. That is the end of, I don't know how many sprints, 5? Amy, you were also muted.
I am now unmuted. I am. It's so weird. Like a couple of minutes ago, I was just like, oh, I wonder if it's time, and clicked over to this window and to check that I still had the sound on, and it's like my body clock knew.
Yep. Yeah, I have finished reading the story so far,
Nice.
and this is quite hilarious to me. It is only 25 pages, and I have forgotten bits of it. I'm like, oh, yeah, they do this, and they do. And that did happen.
I totally understand that. Yeah. I
Yep.
definitely forget what I've written. Yeah. I totally understand why like fans of like books and TV shows pick up on like inconsistencies and the writers miss them. I'm like, well, I don't understand why it is, but I totally am gonna be that. Like I would pick up on an inconsistency in something I'm a fan of, but in my own writing I'll totally miss it.
Yeah. I'm just alarmed because the weather was looking fairly good, and I have 2 dogs that I am planning to take for a walk, and right now coming directly towards me is a really big, thick grey cloud. And I'm like,
Which
no.
direction is it coming from?
It is coming from your direction.
Okay. Are you in...
I'm in Horswell today.
Okay, so I'm slightly east of you?
Yep. You are that way.
That's meaningful, sure.
Yeah.
I was going to look up Met Service.
Oh, that's smart.
This is the weather. Yeah, it's meant to get nicer this afternoon, apparently. A few morning showers, southerlies dying out this evening. But there's only a rain icon for the morning, so maybe it'll go sideways. To be honest, a lot of the time the weather that's forecast for Christchurch, they get it on the hills, and most of Christchurch doesn't get it.
Yep, I'm on the hills.
No, I mean like on Banks Peninsula.
Yep.
Like we don't even get it on the hills.
Yep.
Oh, are you at Jill's? No.
No, I am up the road from Jill. I am on Kennedy's Bush Road.
Nice.
You go past Horswell Quarry and you just keep going up the hill, and it is really lovely. I'm not high enough to get the awesome views, but it's close enough that me and the dogs can walk to Horswell Quarry, though I'm thinking of being really lazy today and popping them in the car, just because they're extremely rambunctious Labradors, and I am not feeling a bit delicate. Like I do not want to have my arms pulled off today. So
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, we will.
Once you get them to the quarry, they can be off their lead day because it's like a dog park area.
Yep. Usually I walk them down the hill and they are so keen to get to the dog park that it is, they are mostly pulling me the entire way there. Then we do one loop of the dog park, and by then they've expended all of their energy and excitement. So we have a very nice sedate walk home. But I'm thinking of, if I put them in the car and then we do 2 loops of the dog park, or potentially even 3, then it's the funnest part for all of us.
Yeah. For our viewers, Horswell Quarry does have an actual quarry, but it is mostly a park. Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently an ancestor of mine died in that quarry.
Like working there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not a blood relative, a step sibling of my grandma.
Okay.
But she refused to ever go to Horswell Quarry because of that.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I do feel like when you've got a few generations of people in New Zealand, like there are lots of places that you go that are like, oh yeah, my so-and-so was here in that important historic moment.
Yeah, like the fact that my grandma's grandma used to own part of what is now the playing field at Amy's school, and she used that to graze her dairy cows.
Yes. I think there are photos in one of our corridors is like all the school history on the wall. And
Yeah.
there are photos of animals grazing on our school fields. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. It is. The fields are good. It's so nice to have so much space, and that young people actually use them. Like they do. They play sport at lunchtime. Like all these people complaining about kids being on their cell phones all the time. I like walk down the corridor and I've got this view because I'm upstairs, and it's like hundreds of teenagers out on the field choosing not to play on their phones. Like, isn't that better than not having the option? Like they're actually making the choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Cool.
Doug My Squee has said the key is to lean into it. And so inconsistencies in on purpose. I'm a low-key fan of the acknowledged unreliable narrator. Unreliable narrators are my jam.
I love unreliable narrators.
Yes.
I remember when I first read Bridget Jones' Diary, and I was just like, why is it that I love this so much? I mean, obviously it's very funny, but I think I like clicked fairly early on in that series or even in the book. I was just like, I love the fact that I know stuff that she doesn't, even though it's a diary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always good.
My favourite unreliable narrator that I've encountered recently was The Telltale Heart.
I don't think I've ever read that.
Yeah, so it came up as I was doing a Cluey session with a student, and it came up, and I was like, oh, yeah, this will be interesting. It is absolutely bonkers. Very dense language. My poor student, we struggled through like 2 pages and then realized they hadn't given us the complete story. And I was like, we are not having this. And so we found the rest of it online. But this is like the most obvious unreliable narrator. It's so good. He's like, he starts out basically going, I'm not insane. Why would you say that I'm insane? Here, let me prove I'm not insane by telling you how carefully I murdered my neighbor.
Oh my gosh.
It is delightful. But yeah, not the best fit for the student I was working with that session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We mostly let our students choose their reading, their long reading. Like if it's short texts, then I can choose. But I mean, I'm allowed to choose a class text, but we mostly try and do things so that there is choice so that they can find the stuff that is a good fit for them. Yeah.
One of my Cluey students who actually goes to your school, he chose a Rick Riordan book, Apollo and the Burning Maze, for
Year 11 Connections.
Pardon?
Year 11 Connections, maybe.
I am not sure, but I then went and bought the ebook on Amazon so that I could be aware of what we would be working on, and it was so fun. Like I'm like, this is an awesome author. I need to read more of this.
My son has read a lot of Percy Jackson, but I've never actually read it. But the kids there's so many students who have read it. A lot of them have read it before they get to high school. So it's kind of never top of my priority because they've always got other people to talk to about what they're reading. Like I try and read the books that only like a few students choose so that they've got someone that they can talk to about it. A lot of books I have read about from students' perspectives before I read them. So because I've read like their novel study and their essays and their things on those books. And then eventually I'll be like, oh, I should read that because it's come up a few times. And then I read it and I'm like, I've had so many spoilers, but
Yeah. Like my squeeze says, we had some really fun reads back in school, like Lord of the Flies. Got to maintain that generational trauma. One of my Cluey students has been
Kill me
working on
now.
Animal Farm, which has been fun.
Oh yeah, Animal Farm. I do feel like when it's an old-fashioned text and it's fairly short, and I don't know. I have colleagues who've taught Animal Farm in the last few years and like haven't had any pushback really. Like students don't mind doing a text that isn't their choice if it's kind of short. And
Yep.
I think they mostly read it in class anyway. Like she read it aloud to them. But,
Yep.
and of course, as soon as you're doing an old-fashioned, like anything with archaic language, the audio option is so much better for their comprehension because they don't stop when they get to a word they don't know. They hear the whole sentence and then they can figure out what it means.
Oh, that's cool.
So I often will encourage students who want to read a classic, even if they're not usually like if they're perfectly capable at decoding on the page, like it's not a dyslexia thing or anything like that, but I'll often be like, listen to the audiobook. And often with the classics, they are free. And often, if they're well-known and popular classics, they'll also often be like fully dramatized or casted, even like with different characters doing the different actors doing different characters. So they can be pretty like it's almost like listening to a radio play rather than just to someone reading a book, which is nice. Yeah. So many cool options for reading now that we didn't have when we were at school.
Yeah. The puppy is trying to dig a hole in his dog bed so that he can settle down comfortably. Yeah, I am talking about
you're going to be positively bored here next week with Chloe, who just sleeps and occasionally will want you to let her in or out. She'll cuddle up with you on the sofa in the evenings, but she'll pretty much annoy you otherwise.
Yeah. I look forward to it. We
should get back into writing. Yeah.
Yes. So 20 minutes. Starting now.
Oh, that is so weird. I just clicked over to the screen.
Wow. I didn't do typing writing, but I did sort of plot out how the rest of the scene might go. And I may continue doing that. I'm not sure if I have solved the block, or I'm just going to get stuck a little bit later through the scene. So I might, oh, hey, hi, Jamie. It is awesome to see you. Hope the training is going well. What was I saying? I potentially have unblocked myself, but I'm going to keep plotting out this scene till I have finished it in order to make sure that I've got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've only just got over 600 words today, which is a little disappointing after yesterday's epic 2000. But maybe I'll do a little bit more. Just finish the scene and the link. I always try and do the link into the next scene so that I'm not at a proper stopping point when I stop. But I don't know, that might be a little unrealistic today. Also not feeling it as much as yesterday. So we'll see. But it's school holidays now, so I can write tomorrow.
Yay!
Tuesday. Yay!
Yeah. I'm looking forward to catching up on Tuesday.
Yes.
Yes.
That will be good. Yeah. I have to take Elena to a birthday party partway through, so I'm thinking I'll come with the kids and then I'll leave Louie there for a bit while I go and deliver her to her birthday party. And then, did I say doctor's appointment? I meant birthday party. Hopefully she's well by then. She's got a cold. But...
Yeah. Oh,
this weather is good for holding up at home.
It is very good. Duck's MC is getting lessons in noble society. Her tutor is teaching her how to stick up for herself rather than fall into the trap of politeness as a people-pleasing endeavour. Excellent. How to be rude in a noble way.
Love it.
Yep. Once we finish the stream, I will have no reason not to walk the rambunctious Labradors. So
I feel like if it's pouring with rain, that's a good reason to wait.
Yep.
Is it pouring where you are? It's pouring here.
No. Oh, no. Okay, well, yes, I have to delay then.
Yeah. You need to wait till it's gone. The afternoon's meant to be nicer, so. Yeah. I think you wait.
Yes. Doug says it is how to be direct without being direct, which, yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get my character to sort of accidentally reveal something. You know, like when you're like, I want him to reveal that, but I kind of want him to not really want to sort of accidentally clue her in that there's more going on. And then to be like, oh, no, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I think that would be good, but I'm just not sure how to make it happen. Yeah. So it's a little stilted in the meantime, which is kind of where the characters are at, which is fun, but it's hard to get into the flow of writing.
Yep. Emotional oopsies are the easiest way. I really like that. Uh-oh. I'm getting a phone call. I'm going to end the stream. Bye.
Okay, bye.